I really want to know what kinds of foods that they eat. Do they eat a lot of grains? Do they eat more white meat over red meat? Do they drink a lot of dairy? I read something that they drank goat milk over cow's milk, which helps them. Um, how much processed food do they eat? How much of their food that they eat is imported from other countries? And how much food they eat that they make themselves on the island. Um, Another thing is, what do they do for exercise? Do they work out every single day? Do they have specific styles of working out, like mostly cardio, all cardio? Do they consider weightlifting an exercise? Do they go to the gym, or do they just live their life the way they do, and that's considered their exercise? I read something about them mindlessly exercising, meaning that their everyday life is just them, walking up hills, climbing stairs, lifting things. Is that enough exercise for them just as a people group? I also want to really focus in on their routine that they have every day. I'm a really routine person, so I like to do the same thing every day, or before I go to bed the night before, I plan out my day so that I know exactly what's happening. They probably do the exact opposite of that, and they take naps. I read another thing that said if you take naps, you have like 35% less chance of developing cardiovascular disease. I can't remember where I saw that, but also when they wake up, they wake up. When they open their stores, they open their stores. They don't really live life by a clock, and I'm really excited to do that because I'm the complete opposite of that. Their use of technology is something that I'm really interested in. I think as American people, we're very accustomed to having our phones and having everything that we need right on our fingertips, and they don't have that. My mom heard that they just got electricity 20 years ago, so they're really living in an age that we probably haven't lived in a very long time. Another question I have is, how does their education coincide with their longevity? I think Americans focus a lot on our education, even though it might not be the greatest education in the world. But what is Icarian education? What kind of education do they have? Do they have public schools? Do they have any schools? Do they have homeschool? Like, how do they learn? What do they learn? And how do they apply it to their lives? What do they not learn that we learn that is pointless for us, that we shouldn't waste our time on? And then lastly, what is the next generation like? So we know that there are 1 in 3 people in Icaria live to be over 90. But what about the younger people? The ones that are raised now, when there's probably more technology there than there has been in the past? Do they have, I don't want to say secular, but like, do they care more about technology? Like, are they still as nature oriented and doing everything with your hands and living off the land as their grandparents are and their parents are? I kind of want to see like the difference between the people that are 100 that we talk to and then the children that are being raised in that country.